Hello everyone, I'm Noki Doki and this is Daxter 101%. Um, yeah, it's Daxter from Jack and Daxter, the series on the PlayStation 2, but this is the spin-off on the PSP. So I'm gonna explain a little bit of the context behind, because we can skip cutscenes, so you're not gonna see much of the lore. Basically, Jack got captured by the Crimson Guard, and then Daxter manages to escape. And then later we see him at a bar telling his stories to whoever will listen, and that whoever is the bug exterminator, Osmo, who's looking to hire new people to combat a big bug infestation. Um, and so yeah, we kind of get hired, like kind of get tricked into accepting Osmo's offer, and so the game starts the next day. We're gonna take our first mission and get our equipment. I promise it's more interesting than it sounds. So I'm gonna create the save file, and time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're just entering the shop, getting our electric box water, and already this box in the corner of the room seems pretty interesting. We're gonna grab the ledge. If I do it just right, we get through the wall and navigate out of bounds, get to a portal in the back of the shop that is locked for now, and just like that, we're in level 3, Breezy Valley.
The R button releases the spray. Hold it down to eliminate those bugs.
Alright, so the mission here is to just clean those plants with gas, and along the way we're gonna get these egg-shaped things. That's the requirement for 101%. Those are precursor orbs that you may know about if you're familiar with the series. We're getting gas refills. The gas is limited. It doesn't show the gouge because we don't have the spray gun that we normally use to spray gas as just Daxter, because we're supposed to get that before we do any vehicle missions. Oops, lost an orb. This is a route that I actually came up with for 101% to maximize orbs that I get, and it turns out that we do it in 90% now because it's faster than what we used to do, even without the orbs. We're gonna pay attention to where we end up because we need to be close to this plant for the second phase, which is gonna go real quick.
Crash into the purple bugs to kill them. Well, the big plant is going to
Alright.
die.
And then the queen spawns. So the queen, we have to catch up to her 3 times to hit her. And she's faster than us, so we have to kind of take a detour here. We gotta get ahead of her. Land a hit. This is also faster because we have more turns, and also we just get these 2 orbs that we couldn't get otherwise. Well, I guess we're not getting this one. And the third hit. And that's Breezy Valley 1. Take a little detour to get that orb because unfortunately we don't really have another time to get it. We're not getting all the orbs in this level because we're gonna be coming back. One of the only levels where we have 2 missions. Get a few orbs, and we're gonna save warp. Not save load. We end up back at the portal. Now on the way out, we unfortunately break our vehicle, so we can't go back for the second mission right away. And there we go. As Daxter says, we're gonna be sleeping, which is fitting for this hour of night. And Daxter is dreaming about cinema. So this is these dream sequences. There are 6 of them. This one is actually required for to unlock the next mission. So we do it in even in 90%. But since we do 101%, we're gonna have to do all 6 of them. So yeah, we just hit enemies. There are cutscenes in between. Interestingly, if we miss an enemy or press the wrong button, it decreases the timer. I can just show it right now. So we do lose health, so we want to limit that to less than 6 hits. But we're gonna use that at the end of this section, because when the dream ends, as soon as the counter hits 0, and if we can just make the counter go down by missing the inputs, we'll just get out faster before we could possibly get the input right. Just a few more hits. This is the last phase. Last wave, rather. Already, there's some meshing. And there you go. Now, the way that this works is kind of weird. We just got the bronze medal. We're gonna go right back to get infinite mode, and then we're able to get the gold medal. I don't know why they kick you out after bronze, but just how it is, and we have to restart from 0. This is gonna be the highlight of the run for sure. So this time it's counting up, and we need to get to 100. Also, just for getting the bronze medal, we unlocked the spin attack. You might have seen the message on screen. It's practically part of Daxter's base moveset now, because there's so little you can do before you're forced to unlock it. Basically, instead of when we jump and attack in the air, instead of just doing one spin, Daxter is just gonna keep spinning with the electric with a zapper until he lands. So that can be useful in some cases. We actually do the full combo this time, and yeah, it's kind of scripted. The timings are relatively consistent. Some inputs can change from one run to another. But yeah, not much variety here. I see some people from the Jack and Daxter community in the chat. Hi guys. Alright, now I'm gonna stop hitting enemies because the score keeps counting up and I need to get out as fast as possible after that. Which we don't get kicked out after gold, just like we do with bronze. But yeah, we just got gold and leave like that. So we're gonna go grab the fourth mission prompt, which is the brewery. And Osmo also kindly allows us to use his Sun scooter, which is gonna be very useful. We also get the dialogue for the first mission that we didn't get earlier, even though Osmo has moved, so it doesn't make sense. Get this one from the street on the way. And we're not actually doing the brewery yet, because we have a skip coming up for that. We're gonna get into the brewery to trigger a checkpoint. Because entrance checkpoints are required. You need to enter every level. Getting a corpse. Go. This is the tutorial.
One thing I've learned, you can never have too many of these precursor orbs. A health pack. Woo, bet you never guessed that one.
This is the bug gem.
Daxter, that gold gem is dropped by all of these new... That's the hotel.
Well, he would have said, but basically we get these gems by killing enemies.
Get a load of this place.
And these are also going to be required for 101% on top of being the main missions in the game.
Thank you. Now bring me back a nice stack of those gold bug gems, and I'll tell Osmo you've managed better than that last fellow he sent.
So we are now doing the hotel, which is the actual first mission of the game. And we're gonna have some hard jumps because it's not meant to be done in one go. 100% anyway. There are a few orbs that you need to come back for later, but we don't because we're speedrunners. As you can see, I'm jumping around and turning the camera a lot. That's because it's the fastest way to move around in the game. Daxter moves faster when he's going diagonally for some reason. Jump over the orbs though, that's pretty slow. Get our first enemy. Go.
Yeah, being an Otzel might be useful after all.
Didn't even get the orb somehow. Yeah, the last hit just kills enemies in one go from full, and that's going to be pretty useful for clearing a bunch of enemies at once. Okay, this jump is kind of hard because we're supposed to use the lily pads. We're gonna leave these guys alone because we have a hard jump coming up. So we're just gonna land on the edge, run off at the same time, and that lets us jump from midair. And that is how we're gonna clear hotel 100% without hover. And yeah, that's not much to say for a bit. So I think we have time for some messages.
Wonderful, thank you so much. We have a $10 donation from Russ saying, will we be seeing cutscene underflow in this run, Kappa? Glad to see Daxter getting some love in the marathon space. Thank you very much for that donation. And I do want to remind everyone that we have some polls open and some targets. Let's start on the targets. So coming up later, well, today, because it's after midnight, we have Spyro the Dragon, and our runner will wear a shark onesie when we reach $250 for that one. We're currently sitting at $42 of that. And we also have the Flash Game Gauntlet 2. And we can add the Flash Game The Impossible Quiz, and that would be ran by Daxter. But we need a whopping $2,500 to get this met. That run is scheduled for like 6 p.m. Central European summertime, so we have quite a bit of time until then. And let me quickly check what the current amount is, because it doesn't properly show, because it's not that much yet. But I'll get to that. Come on, we're currently sitting at $21 out of those 2,500. So yeah, we need your help. We really need your help. And well, we just had 2 more donations. $5 from Sodan saying, I'm still Yatagami NL's newest fan. And we have $10 from Jack Speedrun saying, wait, is this Jack 5? Where's Jack? Maybe I need to change my name to Daxter Speedruns. Jokes aside, the community is proud of the work you've done for this game, grinding down those world records. Good luck, Noki.
Thank you, guys. Unfortunately, there will not be cutscene on the flow in this run. We haven't found it for Daxter yet. It's from a different game. Maybe Daxter Ace one day. Alright, so these enemies are coming out from the walls. They actually only take 1 hit to kill, despite being now I only take 1 hit to kill. So normally you have to do a combo like this to get the last hit, but as they're coming out of the sofa, you can just hit them with a normal one, and they still get down in 1 hit, which is good because the combo doesn't last long enough to chain them. They come out too slow. Four, 5, and that's the last of it. This vent is actually kind of hard. Yeah, I didn't explain vents. You can actually clip in and out of them by jumping in front of them. These meters are just too easy. See if I can get the back one, because this one doesn't actually matter, because the orbs save as soon as you get them, like the gems I got earlier during the second.
Looks like the express exit for the Daxtonator.
The second jump. There were a few gems on the other side of the gap, and so I have to cross back without dying, because otherwise I lose the gems and I have to do it all over. There will be a few slides where we have to go down for orbs. I think just 2 actually. Gonna round up the last few orbs now that are in the hall. We left them here because they're right above the manager, so it's easier to get from the back like this. And we clear the mission. Alright, next up is the construction site, which we're also gonna visit twice, but actually different areas.
I hear you did a smash-up job. Now I need you to clean up a construction site. These bugs don't even wait for the building to be finished.
Yeah, there we go. If you jump at the right time on those stairs, you can gain a lot of speed. DLJ anymore? No. The speed is actually capped, but it's much faster than running up normally, because the fact that they're sloped kind of slows you down normally. We're also gonna use this instant landing thing in other places. So the reason we went to the brewery just to get the entrance was because of a cutscene we got that gives us the pressure boost attachment for the spray gun, but we don't have the spray gun yet, so we can't use it. This is a thing that allows us to hover. Using the spray gun as a jetpack. Gonna do a little glitch by crouching onto the trampoline. We can trick it into giving us a jump from higher up. Now, as I was saying, gems are saved at checkpoints, so we have to get this wasp before the checkpoint. There's actually a glitch where you can, if you kill an enemy, then enter a checkpoint, then grab the gem. There's like you save the fact that you killed the enemy, so the enemy doesn't respawn, but you also didn't get the gem, so you pretty much have to restart the level later. It's kind of annoying, so we're gonna avoid that. Now we get the spray gun from Terran, who's also gonna show up later in this level. Well, later, as in like 3 seconds from now. Spray gun is useful for these because this guy would go back. It would go back into its hole if I didn't spray it first. Also, as you can see, we've got the ability to hover, which speeds things up a little bit.
2 more.
Don't forget the hidden orbs. We're just carrying the crane's momentum to go up. You don't normally gain any height from hovering like this.
Vaguely impressive. 1 more to go.
It's pretty far, so I'm gonna jump from.
You rodents are full of surprises.
Alright, now we're not gonna go straight to the next platforms because we need to get these orbs instead of climbing up the crates later. Oh, it's actually pretty hard to get the wasps without a spin attack. Actually, I have a lot of gas compared to what I usually have there. Coming up to the last few orbs and gems in this level. Well, gems especially. Because this one's the last. Get a gas bubble again, which is very nice. There's a random orb in the air here for some reason. Now in this room, you're supposed to climb up a wall and like behind me and zip line across all around the room. We're gonna use the zip line for these 2 orbs. Then we drop down for this one, and then we can Prince foot. Right. There we go. And we get the exit zip line like this. And that rounds up level 2.
Calling Daxter. Come in, Daxter. Return to the Critter Ritter shop immediately.
Get the camera through. That's more convenient. Go. There you go. So if you've been keeping up, we already did the 3rd mission, which is Breezy Valley 1. So even though the game is trying to send us to Breezy Valley 1, we're gonna end up in Breezy Valley 2, which is done in the same area. And it's more of the same, but this time the targets are moving. Yeah, we're gonna take a bit of a roundabout route, but that's just to catch the bugs or the animals at a specific at the right time in their cycles, and also grab the last few orbs that we didn't get earlier. Alright, now, the queens are back, but there are 3 of them. They only take 1 hit each. It can be a nightmare to chase them all down, unless we have... I hope that right. Yeah, that's right. Because we're in the first queen's cutscene, they all, like the other 2 just run into us, and they don't notice that we're here. And it's like, that's the BV2 triple. It saves a lot of time because it's really annoying and RNG where they go. Now we're just gonna go get these last 2 orbs. Save warp again, that's why we do these last. And you know, while we're at it, we're just gonna get the dream that we unlocked. So this one is more of the same. There are no cutscenes in between, so it goes a little faster. But on the other hand, we also have a higher counter reach. Alright. So this time we get a health upgrade. So we have 6 HP instead of 5 now.
Freedom!
Yeah, freedom. Could also mention that normally you're supposed to get off the bed and climb back on top of it, but for some reason if you jump on the back of the bed, even though you never land anywhere else but on the bed, Daxter falls asleep again. So it's a little optimization. Fortunately, this stream kind of goes up to 200. I think we have time for some messages if there are any.
Sure. I do want to remind everyone that we are raising money for Alzheimerfonden, the Swedish national fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Did you know that Alzheimerfonden organizes projects, camps, and events for youngsters affected in different ways due to parents due to parents or other relatives diagnosed with Alzheimer's? That's also one of the projects that your money that you raise here, that you help us raise here, goes towards. So thank you very much for that. I do want to give you an update on some of our polls that we have for later on today. So we will have a run of Looney Tunes Space Race, where you can decide whether the game will be run as Elmer Fudd or Wile-E Coyote. Elmer Fudd is currently in the lead at $119, Wile-E Coyote is at 64. So get your donations in for that if you want to change that. Also, we have some Spider-Man games, some Spider-Man runs. Spider-Man 2000 has a costume select with the choice being the Spider-Man suit, Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, or Stickman. Stickman currently in the lead at $50, Scarlet Spider at $1, the other without any donations yet. And the same for Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. We have a costume select poll between Alex Ross Red, Amazing Bagman, Spider-Man, and Symbiote Spider-Man. Currently, only Alex Ross Red has any donations towards it, and those are $50. So get your donations in, put them towards our polls, and then you can decide how that game will look, well, how Spider-Man will look, or which Looney Tune that a space race will be run with. Back to you.
Thank you. So I should probably explain the cutscene coming up next. We're gonna see as we're coming out of the shop, we're gonna see a prison zoomer, and we're gonna see Jack inside. So we're gonna start to chase that prison zoomer. Which is a special part of the game that we can't return to later, but we also need to enter it for 101%. That is why it's the entire reason we do Breezy Valley 2 and part of Tinker 1 later, like afterwards. It kind of forces us to do a kind of weird route here. And here we go. So we're supposed to chase the zoomer and dodge the bombs. But we're just gonna take the low route and have it rubber band. Save a little bit of time and make it safe. Nice. We end up ahead of it a little bit. Gonna take a little detour again. I'm not sure if this is faster or if it's just slowing down. But yeah, we can take a few hits, that's okay. Gonna... Oh, doesn't usually land here. Alright, and then we get to Tinker 2, Tinker 1. Tinker 1, which is a level we don't want to do right now.
Collect the gems, cash the check. See you on the flip side, dude.
We don't want to... Tinker 1 is a level we don't really want to do right now because we don't have all the power-ups available yet, and that would be pretty slow. So we're just gonna climb up this wall and get the camera to follow. Doesn't want to follow. Okay. We're gonna head this way. And so we can't skip the entire level, or we can skip the first half. And we're like about halfway through here. We'll come back later for the rest when we have everything we need. which is also the same reason that we're doing this route for now, all these skips. Because you might think that if we're doing all the levels anyway, why not just do them in order, and why do all the skips? It's because we have power-ups later that allow us to go faster. And also, once we beat the final boss, we get a menu that just lets us, from the pause menu, get to any level we want. Which is gonna skip a little bit of travel. Well, quite a bit. Alright. Now this is a pretty new strat. I would say I just came up with it, but really it's a bunch of different parts. Some of it were found mainly by Rain and Z-Rock. And we were just trying to skip all of Tanker 2, all of Tanker 1 and come back later, but we couldn't make it happen. And so I just kind of had this idea to only skip half of it. And it still works out because the first half is really the main part that we want the extra attachments for. Having them for the second half would be nice too, but it's less important. Yeah, these guys take a lot of hits, even with the combo finishers. Wall spiders are pretty annoying. Their only attack deals 2 damage, and you have very limited movement, so they outrange you. It can be pretty dangerous. Orb with a free or a gas refuel. Wow, never seen him go this far. Alright, so the mission in Tanker 1 is to grab 30 gems. We're closing in on the end with only 21 gems. Which is unexpected, and by which I mean totally expected, because we actually need to fail the mission on purpose for another skip. So normally Tanker 1 ends at this door, and you have to complete a 2-minute minigame.
I thought you said you were an exterminator.
But we're just gonna get scolded by Osmo, and this unlocks the reset door, which is normally closed. Can't get in there unless we fail the mission. And this is the part that Rain found. In this reset path, on top of the trampoline that takes us back into the level, we also have a hole in the ceiling. Again, camera. Lights, action. So we hit a trigger in the middle of that. Yeah, the game really likes to make everything disappear when you're out of bounds. It's probably to save on resources. Okay. Alright. Door. And that is kind of bad. Yep, the scooter didn't respawn, so we're gonna have to die to unlock the door. Get back into the level just enough. Oh. Yeah. And then die again to respawn the scooter. That kind of happens with this trick. There we go, the scooter is there. Otherwise it's like all the way across the port. And now we get fire cone, which allows us
I don't know why I do you favors like this. Anyway,
to fly higher.
Clean out the distillery and the cannery, and we'll call it even.
Sorry, Taryn, we're not gonna do the distillery and cannery until way later. But we'll get around to it. So while we're here, we're gonna get all the orbs in the ports, as well as the entrance to the distillery. So you got it because the minimap disappears. There are some orbs under here. Fly over here, and you can see the scooter shadow. We can get on top of it from here, because the game doesn't really check for collision between you and the scooter. That's gonna come in handy later too. So the devs were really inspired for the sport orbs, and they just decided you need to fly across the port. Notice that I used the regular spray this time because using flame would go too high. Now, because we got the distillery checkpoints, we're going to respawn in the distillery, which is closer and also closer to the scooter mainly. Because guess what? There's another one. Alright, 24, 25. So there are 5 more orbs in the port, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna get them later. They're right outside the cannery. We go back to the streets with this helpful path. I'm gonna start doing some shenanigans with the scooter. Alright, so what do you think happens when you run very slowly into this wall with a scooter? Nothing next to it, maybe? Yeah. And we can fly. That skips a little bit of flying around, because we have the same orb trail, gas trail thing going on in the streets, but there's only this, like these orbs at the end. So we can get around. And now we're gonna use this at the barrier. I hope that worked. Because when we're not looking, the scooter can just phase through the barrier. I don't know if it's the scooter doing that or the barrier or both. But yeah, now the scooter is across. Gonna take this time to get over the barrier, grab this orb, and meet the scooter across. Gonna round up the orbs on this side of the barrier while we're at it. Normally you have to, you need a boss, like there's a boss fight you need to complete before you can get here. You don't have time for that. Barely worked. I'm gonna die here to respawn the scooter outside. Alright, now this portal that you see here, nice. Has a menu to pick levels, and if you confirm and cancel at the same time, you can come out of the portal with the menu. We're gonna do some fun shenanigans with it. This is called TMS, for teleport menu storage, which kind of tells you what we're gonna use the menu for. Now, gonna get it because we can also we can't, we don't have a vent here to. What am I doing? Please work. Yeah, no. There's a bit of a setup where we can get the scooter to stop right after the barrier, but I did it wrong because I was explaining. It's okay, there's a backup strat. We can just use the menu like again by pressing circle and X on circle and cross on the same frame. If I press cross, it either loads a level or it crashes the game. If I'm on the street, it's gonna crash the game. And if I just press circle, it's gonna close the menu, but then I don't have it anymore. Now the door to the port is still locked for some reason. Probably because of the sequence breaks we did. And it's gonna stay locked actually until the end of the run. But fortunately we don't need it that much. Any day. There we go. Is we can get out of bounds and get behind the door. For this one, quite useful to have the mini map to get around. Nope. But there are still invisible walls. Here we go. Around the path. Note that I need cross. I need to press cross to drive the scooter, so I'm holding cross the whole time. If I let go, I actually can't accelerate with the scooter, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, strip mine. Foreshadowing, because we haven't done strip mine and we're gonna do it after the final boss, which is actually not that far away. Now another way that we use TMS is by loading the level as we die, so that respawning interrupts the animation and loading the other level. So we just got into Tanker 2, which we are really not supposed to have access to because we were in the Tanker 2 entrance before the locked door. And so the game was like, oh, you know, you're loading a level, and also you're going to Tanker 2, so let me get you into Tanker 2 proper. So this kind of dark purple liquid that we're striding on is called Dark Eco. It's a thing in the Jack and Daxter universe. Oh. And you don't want to fall into it. I mean, you don't want to fall into regular water either, but especially not that, I guess. We are not gonna lower the level because we can reach places we're not supposed to. And then I missed the trampoline animation skip. That's okay. This little platform ride, we can't really skip it because of the orbs that we have to get alongside it. Oh. Gonna technically come out. Gonna get to a zip line. Well, pretty dangerous section in theory.
Daxter, what did you do? I just got an
Oh,
alarm that
whoops.
the tanker storage has
Apparently
been
it's pretty
breached.
dangerous.
Get out of there fast.
Alright, so we need to get out of the sinking ship. 3 orbs that I just got are actually pretty tricky because they're in between the positions that you get by swinging and not swinging, so you have to catch them mid-swing, and the only way to get all 3 at the same time is to return from a swing onto the first 2 and then swing again to get the last one. Alright, a little hive. Getting close to the end of the level. There's a timer, but fortunately it's pretty lenient. We still have time to do our groceries while the ship is sinking. Here, the last checkpoints we got was at the top of the zip line, so I'm not gonna take any chances and just let the wasps run into me while I'm holding fire out. Because these platforms, by the way, the crates that we were on, they sink as soon as you walk onto them, so if you get hit and fall down onto them, you're kind of screwed. Coming up to the end of the level. And now we get a cutscene where Zyman saves us, Ozma's son saves us from the tanker. We just jump out into his zoomer, which that's what the vehicles are called, by the way. And just he rescues us, and we go investigate the palace because we find out that the tanker was headed to the palace. Time a jump to get the doors animation earlier, and we immediately get caught. What a nice infiltration mission.
Daxter, it's time to get your orange self the hell out of here!
But again, you know, we just got caught, and we're probably a whole army coming after us, but we're just doing our business here. Business as usual. So the spikes kill you in one hit, the lasers kill you in one hit, just fantastic. So we can just get around. We're on the last few missions of the game by now, so the level has amped up quite a bit. Alright. Now that we have the flamethrower, we're gonna have a little more options for the slugs. So hitting them straight with the fire will just make them go hide like a normal hit, but we can use the fire instead of the final hit because we know the last hit of a combo takes a while to come out. So this is a little bit faster, and there's a bunch of slugs in this level. I was gonna do the combo anyway. So we're gonna come up to the palace maze of the library. The little thing it show. This room on the side has 3 orbs. Oh, well. Try something. Let's go. So we can skip the lasers just like we can skip crawling into the vents. It's just a little more dangerous. Because if you time it wrong, well, you die. It just so happens that this place is closer to the checkpoint, close enough to the checkpoint that it's faster to respawn than to crawl anyway. And we keep the orbs obviously. But anyway, with that, I think we've got some time for some messages.
Perfect. We've got 2 donations in. First of all, we've got an $8 donation from Smoky Shrimp that just says, "Sometimes I wonder if Crash Bandicoot is Daxter's weird uncle," which goes towards our Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro Costume Select incentive and our Flash Games Gauntlet 2 Add Impossible quiz. We then also have a $49 donation from Anonymous with no message that also contributes to the same incentives. Thank you very much for your donation.
Thank you. These guys are very annoying once they start shooting electricity. You might have seen me hit a vase that seemed empty, and that was one of the big mysteries of this category for a while. We almost made a subcategory with or without vase orb. Because basically hitting, like when you hit this vase, it seems empty, there's nothing in it. But it turns out that it spawns an orb later on. It's right here. It actually contains an orb, this one, and I don't have to break the vase because it's from the other vase that I already broke. And so for a while, we were just like trying to route the category. Kind of like when you're just playing casually, you just break every vase anyway, so it worked fine. And then we tried to optimize the thing, and we're like, okay, we don't need to break this vase because it seems empty. And then suddenly, there's an orb later on down the line that just doesn't spawn. Very good game. These slashers, for some reason, are very weak to fire, then no fire, then fire again. It takes a while to kill them if you just hold the spray up to them. But if you just do it in 2 shots, they go down very quickly. I was supposed to get 2 more enemies before doing that, but that's fine. That kind of works. Alright, the scorpions I would have rather got before, but I guess it could be a route for... Oh, we do have it. Yes. Yeah, so that's a lot of slugs in this level. So even saving just half a second on each of them is a pretty big time save. Now we're coming up to the room where we keep all of your generous donations. Keep them coming, by the way, it's for a good cause. And also there's an orb in there that I'm gonna keep. So here we're supposed to go on this swinging platforms up there. But we can also just not, because a hopper makes it to the next part of the level. Don't have a lot of gas right now, so I hope we're gonna be good for the rest. There's a refill anyway, if needed. Running up against slopes like this is a little bit faster. We're good. Oh. Barely made that cycle. This falls down for some reason when we get here. Alright, it's... Oh. Whatever. if I jump exactly as I'm getting hit, I'm gonna get extra height, which would have allowed me to get up on top of those crates. But sadly, that didn't happen. So we just got, yeah, there's been a few cutscenes. So after I fell down in the treasure room, there was a cutscene of getting the plan to the prison, which we need to find Jack, and then we also found clothes for Jack to wear after escaping. And that rounds up the palace. Now we're gonna go. Oh yeah, so there's a cutscene at the shop where the soon-to-be final boss is gonna come and blow up the shop. So we'll see the shop later. Yeah, it's gonna be in pretty bad shape. That's... oh. Alright. Got a prison zoomer chase again, but the other way around this time. And the objective is still to go fast. Which is good, because that's what we're good at. Oh, we can see the guard behind us. And right here, we end the chase because there's a wall that closes behind us and kills the guard. Speaking of guards, yeah, they got some pretty strong weapons. They can kill us in one hit whenever they see us. So we're gonna try to stay away from them, or behind them at least. And they're the main opponent we're gonna face in prison. Whoa. Coming up with new proxies that didn't even exist. This game has interesting physics. And we're gonna crawl anyway because, yeah. We wanna know what we're doing here. Get the key to open those cells. 2 of them with an enemy. I don't know what that spider did, but yeah, he's in jail. And that scorpion too. Now this one has nothing, but there's a vent under the bed. Okay. Can't find the exit. There we go. These spiders are hard-coded to give us gas bubbles every time, which is why you can also get gas bubble and a health pack. That doesn't happen with any other enemy in the game. Get a 2D section. Once again, we're going to use the elevator's momentum to fly upwards. in any percent, there's a pretty cool strat where you just hover up the entire thing from the start. But we need the orbs and the gems. Got the camera to come with us. A little turnaround animation here that's gonna come in handy later. Shadowing. Oh, that's a pretty bad cycle. Have to wait here for this guy to turn around. Go before the other guy notices. Oh, yep. Think we can make it? Alright, it's not too bad. Alright. Now we have to stay in this corner of the cell because the middle guy can see us if we stand on the ground. And then we get the exit again with a vent under the bed, probably more like a tunnel that someone dug through to get out of the cell. Now we're getting to a pretty dumb part of the game. You might think that if I fall off these platforms I die, and if you try it in the game, sometimes that's what will happen because there are guards down there who seem to notice you before you even fall down to the ground. However, listening. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, he's turning. Have to listen for these guards' sounds. Yeah, it's really tight to get back into here. That's okay. The orb is saved, and that is why I didn't get the gems on the first time. I ignored the bugs because I know I'm gonna lose the gems anyway. Let's see if I... yeah, okay. Another orb here, and we get back up here. So we go back to before the gems anyway, and we get another chance to get them. Without the risk of dying afterwards. Oh. Also, these guys don't notice you if you're against the front of the 2D section. Pretty helpful for waiting on the guard sounds. Alright. Some vent clips are pretty tricky. Get a cutscene of the final boss preparing to see us, kind of. I have to wait here because of this guy. We are coming up to a room with a bunch of orbs and gems to get. We're gonna start with the orbs because we can't lose them once we have them for good. Whereas the gems, we might lose them, so we don't want to lose the gems because we failed on the orbs. We're just going to start by spinning this valve. Here we go. Okay, so I need to stand on the right spot. I did not stand on the right spot. Missed one. We're okay. For some reason it's lower than... This orb is lower than the others. I don't know if I go for it. Oh, okay. Wasn't even sure that if that was possible, honestly. Hey, you're not supposed to be able to make these hovers, but with the power of diagonal hovering, I guess we could call it vectoring. Hope that works. That was kind of weak. Okay. We could make the jump to this one as well, but it's kind of risky. It's further away than the others. We have 4 gems to save. Did you like this rotating platform? Because here's a bunch more. This strat, we just jump over the refill to get it back and be able to hover right away. Because even if you have gas left, you can't really hover twice in a row. If you look at the gouge, you might see after I'm hovering, there's an amount that is dedicated to hovering, and you can't really work around that. Okay, we're rounding out the end of prison here. That's the orbs. Oh, unfortunately. Okay, we've got enough gas to go around. And there we go. 75 out of 75. We only spin this one once, so we're not gonna bother with the refill trick. And here it's actually faster. Instead of continuing, we can just get launched onto the lamp as well. So here there's a mini game in this room that we need to unlock this door, but we can just hover onto the portal, reset our height, and we get to the final boss, Metal Caden. So this boss fight has 3 phases. So this is the first phase. We're just gonna dodge his attacks. He's gonna come down to one of those geysers things in between the platforms. It's random which one he picks, and that's when we can hit him. We're gonna hit him 4 times here, and then we're gonna move on to phase 2, where the electric grid that is supporting the platforms right now is gonna collapse. So the platforms are gonna fall into dark eco lower down. Once again, he's gonna be attacking a few times, and then he's gonna do a big attack that takes out all the platforms, and that's when you're supposed to hover to a valve that will lower the dark eco and give you access to the platforms again. So you do that twice. He doesn't take damage. Lucky. He doesn't take damage during the second phase, and then you get to the third phase where you're gonna have to damage him with the ultrasonic. Now, ultrasonic is not a new form of some blue hedgehog. It's an upgrade for the spray gun that we haven't got. We've skipped it, and so we're currently unable to complete this boss fight as intended. That's it. That's the end of the run. We can do it. GG's. Now, obviously, we have some tricks up our sleeves. Coming up to the last hit of phase 1. Alright, that's his last attack. Comes down. Nice. Alright, this is phase 2. He's gonna laugh at us and he's gonna start attacking, but we can already, with a bit of diagonal movement, even though the camera is always pointed at him, we can get to the valve while he's still there. We use it for, like we spray it, to get a little more height because we're getting on this guy's back. And we end up in the room after he's been defeated, where we go talk to him. And this is the credits. So as you can see, this shop is pretty messed up. But we're not done yet because we now have a couple more levels to go. We got ultrasonic to unlock, for example. And we're gonna go to another dream, and this time we can move around. It's a little different gameplay. Welcome to Lord of the Rings. So this is the only dream where the visual cues are moving. Like the button cues. Unless you count the camera movement in Matrix 1. Okay, that tends to throw me off. Some fast enemies in here. So I tend to stay on the middle lanes. So that I don't have to cross from one side to the other. Yeah, exactly. But other than that, there's not much else going on. We're gonna need 50 for the bronze medal. And then we're going for 150 for the gold. Oops. Alright. Calm before the storm. Okay. Alright, we've protected the fortress. But not enough.
Wow. That was deep.
So we just unlocked the uppercut, which is a very cool move. So far we've had to choose between attacking and moving around. Attacking normally kind of locks you in place for a bit. Or like you move, but specifically where the combo takes you. And with the uppercut, we're just kind of doing a spinning jump with the swatter out. And so that's going to be quite useful in the next few levels. Just to gain height, because it's actually as high as the best double jump we can get. But also just move around through enemies, especially fleas. Groups of fleas are pretty annoying. We've seen that in Hotel a bit. And we can just clear them out while traversing them with the uppercuts. Yeah, so with that, I think we have time for some messages. Alright, we're halfway through. Almost at silver medal. There it is. Oh, also, I don't know if you've noticed the counter started from 50 in the gold medal in the infinite mode here, and then it went back to 0. I don't think that saves time in this minigame, but it can happen in Braveheart, and then it saves 20 seconds for some reason. It seems related to how fast you mash the menu to get in. It seems to transfer some of the properties from the bronze medal over to the infinite mode. Sadly, it doesn't just start you off with already 50. Press too late. Obviously, it's pretty bad to die late before a gold medal. Want to avoid that as much as possible. Otherwise, we have to just start over. We can lose multiple minutes. Up. Alright, and because we've beaten the final boss, we now have the ability to load any level that we want from the pause menu. If I can finish this properly. We're gonna go to Breezy Valley. Not because we're gonna do Breezy Valley, but because that cancels the sleeping animation and the wake up animation rather. So we just got into Strip Mine 2 for a second to grab the ultrasonic that we now have, and this is what it looks like. Pretty powerful. You can get the slugs in just one hit with that, and then a hit with the swatter. We're basically high up. Not very effective against that. But it's really a game changer for slugs. Because you can hit them from far away and then they come back out as you come up to them and you can just hit them for the last hit. Oh, I didn't get all of them. That's okay. So this is Strip Mine, and the mission here is to grab 8 Echo Crystals. Is like the thing that I just purposefully didn't get. We're not really going to care about missions anymore because well, we got the ability to load any level, and that's all that missions really do. Finishing a mission only unlocks the next. So this barrel here is supposed to be moving, and there's a lever that we need to activate to get it moving. But because we don't need the Echo Crystals that are in one of the barrels, like there's one crystal that is in a barrel, we're not gonna need that, so we can just do the whole level while this is stationary. Climb on top of it. This level is supposed to, before you get the flame, this is so they give you flames to set your regular gas on fire and hover higher as if you have flame, but you're not supposed to have it. Gonna use regular hover here because that's the only way to gain height at this specific spot. Oops. Climb up, get these two, and then we're out of this 2D section. We don't need it anymore. Up, up, up. There's the lever that we should activate to make the whole thing move. As I said, we don't really need that. You're right for it to be back there. Gonna get up. This is not really intended, but you can jump off of the bottom of this bowl and climb up with it, climbing the wall like we did earlier. Oh. That's not enough. That is barely enough. Gonna do a little bit of a skip here. I can get up. Okay, we go. So here we can just get through the wall by hovering through it. Very good collision here. We're not gonna have enough to get this orb against the wall though. Full refill is appreciated here. Wasting gas all over the place. These like to play whack-a-mole. Get the last. Alright, that's, yeah, right. We're going to construction site 2. And again, we're gonna have to get the entrance.
Daxter, did Simon give you my message? We need to clean up that construction site.
Simon did not give me your message because we haven't seen him yet in the level that he does. Okay. Good. Kind of time traveling here. NPC text is not really gonna make sense. Those trampolines again, we can skip most of the level using them. We're gonna do a little skip. Like, yeah, not much. Kind of a new strat again. I don't think I showed it off to anyone yet. It just came to me while I was practicing this week. So this spider is annoying because it can crawl lower than you can. I can't go lower than these planks, and sometimes it'll be attacking me from way out of reach. That went okay though. Alright. Here comes the skip, so we're gonna start off by clearing out a spider through the wall. And then we can barely get a trampoline proxy. It's actually really tight to be able to crouch on this. I needed to jump on, like, do this run off a ledge while landing thing that I did in hotel. In order to get some more time where the game considers me to be grounded. And then the crouching animation added some time to that and made it to where I could land on the trampoline while crouching. And if you jump with a neutral stick from a trampoline, you just go flying. That skips having to climb up that giant wall twice.
Daxter, the management says you've got to destroy
Here comes the mission.
every one of those termite mounds before they activate the exit elevator.
My keen exterminator sense tells me that these termite mounds are the problem.
So yeah, usually we don't care about missions, but I'm being detained against my will, so I will do this mission to get out. There is no skip for this. Well, no real skip at all. I used to do this mission in any percent, actually. Well. It's okay though, because we have orbs and gems to collect next to all of those termite mounds. Get that just in case. I love how majestic the uppercut looks. Okay, we don't have the dive punch. Alright, getting to the end of construction site 2. Sometimes it doesn't want to let you grab the ledge at the top. One more trampoline proxy. Oh, I wasn't supposed to go like that. Okay. That's more like it, but no, it's too high. Okay. Big do. Alright, there we go. Vent is pretty easy to get into. And we got some orbs on the zip line.
Things are heating up outside the city, Daxter. You need to get back to the power station and get on top of it.
We'll get back to the power station in due time. For now, we gotta finish up the street orbs. Alright, we're back to the hotel because there are some surprises for us on the awning. It's actually a hard jump at work. A mid-air jump into last second hover. Can barely reach that awning. That looks alright. Yeah, there we go. And that's all. Then next we're going to Tanker 1. Okay. Off to a good start. Daxter can't swim for some reason. Now, thanks to the ultrasonic, we're gonna be saving a little bit of time. Okay, so those purple drifters, you cannot normally kill them unless you have the ultrasonic, which we just went to get. Oh, that is bad. That is bad. Okay, well. I just screwed up this rat. Oh, it didn't even die. Okay. No one's giving me gas bubbles either. This is perfect. Alright. Well, we're gonna do the old-fashioned way. Basically, we were supposed to get both drifters with the ultrasonic before they would shoot eggs, for too many. Because now they're going to be scattered about and we're going to have to kill them individually. It would be way faster to deal with them in one go. But I guess it's not so bad. We still have flame to set things up. And go over this, for example. Oh. Yeah. Right. Didn't die. We're okay. This is a bad cycle. So, go up a little trick here. You can get launched by this platform as it comes back up. And this actually allows for a skip in, I think, all missions. I would rather see a gas bubble here. Yep. Not gonna make it. It's okay, we have a checkpoint. I'm gonna try another method. Absolutely not. Perfect. You're right, I just need to not spend my gas inconsiderately. Oh, okay. Got caught in the collision. Oh, now I'm getting gas, okay. Here we go. Okay. And there is the last gem in the level. We're coming right up to the spot where we ended up after the skip earlier. Right down that hallway. So, what? Okay. I forgot something. Shouldn't be far away. I hope it's not far away. I mean, it's in the first half. Can at least say that. Oh. Oh no, I know what's going on. Ah, it's right up there. Yeah. Oh. Take me home. Yeah, this is the intended way. Alright. That was scary. Warp to Breezy Valley. Still not doing anything in Breezy Valley. We're done with it. But it's the fastest way to get back to Dreams because I'm pretty tired. And it's pretty similar to the Lord of the Rings minigame that we did earlier. But only 3 lanes this time. Also boulders. That was scary. I forgot there was a delay after you get hit. So the boulders kill you in 1 hit, obviously. And they can clear out enemies too. Man, I really love that scene in Indiana Jones where Indiana Jones just comes across the giant boulders rolling at him and he just steps aside. Classic. Okay, my brain is not working right now.
It had to be snakes.
Sure did. So once again, we're just getting extra health here. Now there's a bit of a surprise at the end of this gold medal. Because once we get gold medal and then we wake up, we're gonna get a cutscene where Daxter, still as Indiana Jones, finds a secret orb hidden in the back of this of these runes, and this is orb number 1001, which in turn unlocks 101%. Kind of a weird idea to place a secret there. I mean, it's pretty fun and fitting with the Indiana Jones theme, but you also get percentage from the medals. Means there's no way that you're gonna be stuck with exactly 101, exactly 100%, and only this orb left to collect because you're gonna grab it alongside the medal that gives you 1%. But that's how they did it. So that means we can't warp to Breezy Valley at the end of this level because otherwise we're gonna skip that cutscene and we're not gonna get the final orb. Which is where the giant boulders come into play, because there's fortunately one that comes in right after the gold medal, and so we're just gonna insta-die there. Not that it really matters, because again, missing a hit still makes the counter increase. It just means we don't have to be on 1 HP at the gold medal. Never quite sure if the spiders are faster than the boulders or not. Do I have to hit it, or will the boulder take care of it? Well, this one doesn't get to start running. Alright, closing in on 120. And there's our boulder. Gold medal. And we get... We're still gonna go to Breezy Valley to cancel the sleeping animation. We're going to strip mine too. For real this time. So the mission here is to find and destroy 30 hives throughout the level. We're just not gonna do that. Honestly, it's a skip that probably takes longer than it saves, but it looks cooler. And it probably breaks about even. So we're gonna do strip mine 2 skip. Now this is the level where you unlock ultrasonic, and it kind of acts as a tutorial for it, and it's also the main mechanic in the level, so we just get a bunch of free refills. Yeah, these don't have gems. This is one of the only places where we can really spam ultrasonic without caring. Fortunately, any gems that fall to the void just fly back to us afterwards. Be kinda hell otherwise. I need this orb. So yeah, again, we're gonna see a couple hives, but not gonna touch any of them. Now, one of these bugs that I just took down has a tendency to despawn for no reason. So this is why I just hit it with ultrasonic from far away. Because otherwise, again, well, I guess you can just die and go for it again if that happens. But yeah, pretty annoying. Okay. That's kind of what I was going for earlier in Palace. Getting damaged with while jumping, well, in this case hovering. Okay, what's going on? Alright. Now down the left path is just more hives. So we really, like, this is the only part of the level that we really don't go to thanks to the skip. Oh, it doesn't even have a... Some of them don't have gems. Specifically the ones that come out of the hives, but it can be hard to tell because they spawn before you arrive. How did you survive that? Look at that. 3 wasps, 3 ultrasonic bombs. I see no problem with this. I love how fast they come out of this one. Yeah, we're good. I lost track of how many enemies I beat. Alright, that's all the gems. Gonna get yelled at by the miner because we still haven't completed the mission. Could say he's got minor complaints. Now the door should unlock here, but we haven't finished the mission, so we're not getting the door. Instead, we're gonna do a ledge clip here. We're gonna navigate. It's kind of hard to set the camera here. We get on the floor at on the bit of floor at the end of the conveyor belt. It's kind of tricky. And we do need a regular hover here because we would get way too much height from flame hover. Ultrasonic is the same as flame in that regard. So now we're gonna face into a some collision, crawl, and then turn around while crawling. This is where it comes in, and that moves us a little further into the wall. And if we do that 4 or 5 times, depending on the positioning, we can just get through, and we just skip the door. So that was SM2 skip proper. We properly skipped the mission already, but I'm still gonna do the out of bound movement here. It's not necessary because we have the ability. Oh well, okay. I don't have enough. Oh, this is ridiculous. Me, my big mouth. Screw this, we're doing it again. So this skip is pretty bad for 101%, but it's used in another category called No TMS, where we just need to get to the end of Turbine 2. And in that category, we don't have ultrasonic.
Now, Daxter, the readings are off the chart.
Alright, this is the Hive Queen that we're not going to do, but we still need to visit her arena. What a nice arena, Queen. Thank you. Now we go to Brewery. Brewery that we're also not going to do quite as intended, because there's a mini game at the end where we restore pressure to the taps. Oh. Okay. Normally it activates the mission at the same time. So this is a mini game at the end, and we're going to go past that mini game to get the very end orbs. Okay. We don't need that, but that's okay. So we're currently under a layer of wine because there's a flood. This part is flooded with wine. You just kind of see that there. And we clear that by doing the minigame. But instead we're just gonna get the orbs under it and leave the flood in place. And we just do the level as normal, and we're gonna quit out before that minigame. So we already saw the concept of setting regular spray on fire in Strip Mine 1, and that is a recurring theme in this level. There's a lot of spider webs that block the path and that we have to clear up with fire. We're not supposed to have fire, but we do, so we're not gonna need to use those flames. And these vents here are impossible to clip into because every time you jump or try to land, there's an overhang just above them, which prevents you from just jumping into them. Yeah, see, use the flames to get an extra boost, but we already have that built in now. Oh, nice. Didn't hit. So usually wall spiders are annoying because you're so limited in your movements, but this one is close enough to the floor. And this one is close enough to the top. So we don't have to hit them with the swatter. Imagine dying with 7 HP. Couldn't be me. Almost got me. Oh. Yeah, that kind of happened. So we're gonna have to reset. We've had autosave on this entire time, so we're good. We're not losing the entire run, but we have to redo the level when this restarts. Sweet PSP sounds. We'll be right back. This is exactly why I turned on autosave even though I never use it. That's not the run. We're not at 2%. No, that's also not the one. That's my backup save for another very bad situation that could happen. Oh, we don't even have to redo the skip. So anyway, this might look familiar for a bit, and that's pretty unfortunate. Okay, we do have to redo all of it, even the orbs. Where's it? Oh, okay. So I guess if there are any messages, this would be a good time.
we're up to date at the moment, but if you want to get your donations in,
What? Yeah, that doesn't work if you put them. If you don't put your regular spray on fire, you can't take out the webs. Oh. Bit of a memory challenge, trying to remember where everything else. Some of these are just hidden in the most random places. Oh. Can you grab? No? Amazing. Guess I was 1 pixel too low. Alright, gonna grab that. But yeah, the game can be pretty unstable sometimes. Hope it doesn't do that again. Alrighty, this is getting close to the end of Brewery. Oh, that was super fast. Climbing up through the platform from below. Only a few more orbs in the next room. Then we're not even gonna see the machine that we do the minigame on. And 50. Emerald Forest is next. We are gonna need the prince. Go. Tell because the shadow changes colors. And this is another vehicle mission. We have to chase this guy. And get some orbs while we're at it. This is actually pretty hard what I just did. I'm pretty glad I got it.
Get beside the box, little dude.
So we're gonna be able to get a few orbs while chasing him, but just like the Prism Zoomer, if we get too far away, we fail the mission, we have to start over. We don't want that. So this is why we do the mission at all, by the way. Because otherwise we could just ignore him and get the orbs. Now, just like Breezy Valley, there are 2 missions in Emerald Forest. And we're not even gonna take care, like, we're not even gonna go visit it the second time. Because there's nothing we need that is unlocked after Emerald 2. Okay.
Oh yeah, dude! That was supremo radical. Pop
Yeah,
said
we
we
can-
should head back to that construction site. Looks like something mucho not bueno going on there.
Yeah, this is when he tells us about Construction Site 2, which we already did. Kind of jump here. It's okay. Vehicle hitboxes are usually a lot more generous when it comes to orbs. There you go. So we're just going around. We're gonna get all these orbs because we're not coming back later. And we got a geyser back to the top. Into the last couple orbs. Excellent routing. And it's time to go to bed again. And we get a new gameplay style again. Where we have alternating phases of dodging attacks and then landing a hit. Okay. Oh. Yeah, so if you specifically miss the last input, the last arrow of a phase, you get knocked back, take damage, and it cancels the cycle altogether. Pretty unfortunate, but at least these are still short. So each hit takes a lot longer than it did in the other minigames, but we're only gonna need a few. We only need 8 for bronze and 25 for gold. My wrist is kind of cramping up. Alright, there goes bronze. And this time we get
Whoa. That was confusing.
life bounce. Okay, so we got that heads-up display glitch that I mentioned earlier in Lord of the Rings. Except this time it means we get the health bar the whole time. That's not supposed to happen. So we're gonna have to be counting hits because the bar is not gonna drain. Normally there's a different kind of counter that appears for infinite mode. But we're gonna have to do without that. We still get a message when we get silver and gold medals. But we're not completely in the dark. And this level is a test of patience because each of these arrows, the attack comes out as soon as you hit the arrow. There's no fixed timing. And so if you get used to hitting them fast, it seems like that guy is attacking you faster and faster. And you kind of lose track of how much time you really have to hit those inputs. And eventually you just start to fail the minigame because you pressed the wrong button because you thought you had so little time to do it. So it's important to just take your time. A task could probably save like a minute and a half over me on this, over the course of the whole minigame. But we gotta see the end of this run. I think silver is at 15. Not yet. There it is. We're at 15. 10 more to go. I double pressed. Of course, it's the last one. Trying to throw me off with that many triangles. Hoping I miscount them. That's a real thing that could happen. Only a few more. Haven't been counting though. Yeah, see if you don't miss the last, it just keeps going. Surely. There we go. Going back through strip mine 2 in order to get into lumber mill using the portal, which is important to get 2% from it.
There are still more of those. Thanks.
We're gonna see the dive bounce in action right about here. It's mainly just for downward movement. It's not very powerful against bugs except spiders. So I might be using it against spiders, but apart from that it's not very useful. And since we have flame, I might not even use it against spiders at all.
There are still more of those. Thanks.
Bit of a skip here, bit of having to go around hovering. So the mission here is to activate those traps that you see here and wait for the drifters, same drifters from Tinker 1, but these ones don't have any gems and they're just here for the mission, but we don't care about missions. You already know that. Thank you. Very good timing for a gas bubble here. These lurker sharks will jump at you and kill you in one hit if you cross in front of them. Oh, whoa, whoa. Getting carried away here. We're gonna come back with a zip line because we need to keep the gems, and also we need these orbs. In all missions, we just like get the drifter and then pull off, and we respawn back here. These branches also kill you in one hit as soon as you touch them. They don't seem like much, but don't trust them. Now the dive bounce here. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's nice to have it for the situations. I'm leaving gems behind here because we'll be coming back out the same way, so we can get them on the way out. There's no checkpoint here, so no risk of triggering a gem glitch. I think that's the intended way, but it doesn't work as well as the way it used to do. This. Alright, coming right out. Getting the gems that we left behind. Shouldn't be using flame this much because I really need gas for an upcoming skip. Alright, so there's a gem, there's a scorpion in this tunnel that only spawns if you come in from the other side. There's also a scorpion that only comes in if we come in the way we do. So I guess they meant this level to be visited twice again, once from each side. That's the last gem. You know what? I'm even gonna save here just in case something bad happens again. Hope not. Alright, so here the door is locked because we haven't completed the mission, but we can barely hover onto this. And it's only this corner of the pillar that is available to land on, because there are invisible walls all over the place. And so now my job is to not miss any orbs on this slide, or I have to redo it again. And it's kind of finicky. And here. Almost jumped too early here. Alright, here we have to go to the right, and then there's an obstacle and we have to go back to the right. This is kind of sneaky. But we got everything. Well, not everything, but that's coming right up. The lily pads. Coming back, making a very tight jump here. I think we got it. Yeah. And that wraps up Mill. We're gonna go transit system now. The entrance counts in this elevator. A little overconfident there. Should have done the uppercut anyway. out of gas. I didn't realize. Ah. I had time to separate before I hit them. We would be able to beat the train, but I need to get this gas. Alright. Sometimes trying to save gas does not end up saving gas at all. And yeah, so Transit is a bit of an auto-scroller. Gonna be jumping around from train to train a lot. There are also sections like beginning where we're free to move around. Alright, here comes the next train. Obviously, missing an orb here would be quite bad. Means we have to restart the whole train section. Because there are no checkpoints on the trains. I don't know how that would even work. That was probably my favorite application of the dive bounce. Like, land on that bucket, get that orb out, and bounce right out. Ah, doesn't count. You have to land on an elevator after it stops moving, otherwise it's not going again. I thought landing from the bounce after the dive bounce would work, but apparently not. As you might have guessed, touching this big red thing is not good. Abort mission. Alright. Camera is really not cooperating here. Yeah, they're invulnerable for a bit after they spawn. Why I have to wait, and sometimes not enough. And that is all the gems in transit system. For the orbs, we still got another train section. So this is the slow train, and there's a fast train coming up right now that we can catch. And it's a split path. You can pick one or the other to get to the end of the level. But fortunately, all the orbs remaining are on this side. And that's all of them. We're gonna go to the train chase, which is pretty much a part of transit system, but it's technically considered a different level. So we also have to do the entrance for this one. And it's another chase. Getting chased by a train through a path that it barely fits into with some obstacles like this, so I don't know what kind of train this is. It's probably not meant to go down this route anyway. Does it just like smash through all of that on a regular basis? Alright. And at the end of Train Chase, there is another boss fight where we just visit the arena, and time for the last dream. And it's pretty similar to Matrix 2. Except it has half turns, which I do by basically pressing the 3 directions that it says individually, because the detection is pretty janky. But otherwise, it's kind of reversed compared to Matrix, actually. Matrix 2. Because we get a fixed timing for the dodges, which are done with the buttons. And then my own attack comes out as soon as I finish typing in the combo with the D-pad. Also, the attacks are consistent. So I always dodge. I always have to press triangle, for example, to dodge the sword. Square to dodge the stomp. So you can see the autosave comes out after
Was he pushy?
the bronze medal. Alright. This is the kind of counter that should have appeared in Matrix 2. And yeah, this first cycle is scripted. It's always the same. The rest are pretty different though. And being able to tell by the animation which input you're gonna have to press is kind of a trap, because you can press too early or you can misidentify an animation. So overall, it's more reliable to just look, like read the inputs that it asks. But sometimes it's not that easy, because there's a lot of particle effects from previous attacks. And like the shield, stuff like that, which makes it kind of hard to read. Anyway, we're going for 18 hits this time for the gold medal. But as you can see, each hit takes longer than ever. This is the longest stream. Daxter needs his beauty sleep. So will I after this run. This game really doesn't like to give you a break. Just keeps going because you end the level, you can warp to the next, you can skip the cutscenes, you can. There's no loading screens, nothing. I mean, I guess I did get a break when it crashed, but that wasn't supposed to happen. Makes me appreciate the unskippable cutscene from Super Mario Sunshine more. So hard to parse through these errors at this point. Alright, halfway there. We have time for some messages, maybe?
We do have a $10 donation from Zetro CZI. No message, but thank you very much for your donation.
Thank you. I think that's silver here. Yeah. Silver tends to be just over half of gold. 2/3. We did try to define a category that is like 101%, but without the dreams. But it's just kind of hard to do because of the orb you get in Indiana Jones. So if you just limit it to like 84%, which would be the maximum you get without dreams, you can also skip like 40 orbs because get the last percent from about 40 orbs. You get 24% from all the orbs, and so that gets divided up into equally. It's not like the Indiana Jones orb is in its own separate category. So there's no nice way to define that category. Without just banning dreams and going max percent, no dreams or something. But anyway, this is the last phase. Here it comes. All right. We're going to Distillery. Oh, right. This is why I warped to Breezy Valley first. Because Daxter can sleep anywhere, turns out. And that is the last of the port orbs. As you can see, it made a lot more sense to grab those on the way into the cannery. Just literally right outside the door, and we have to come out anyway. We cannot skip these. We have to crouch. We jump into them, then we can get stuck in them and take infinite damage, and then that's all we get. Kinda like that. I wasn't too far in this time. Need that. Went for the uppercut a little bit too fast. So here's the strat I found during practice. It didn't work, and then it worked, and then it didn't work again. I guess the the ice block got in the way anyway. But you can make it from there. Usually we just go back to these two. It's okay. Oh yeah. If you ultrasonic hover too close to the ground, the ultrasonic just goes right through the ground and doesn't hit anything. Or you can hear it hit something, but not what you're going for. Alright, we still have enough for another bomb. Here we go. Little cutscene where we meet the owner of the cannery. Tells us to clean up the mess, which we're already doing anyway. But not for his sake. And melt this ice block so we can get on top of it. Oh. That scared me. Sometimes when they're off screen, they don't react to anything. Physics are in the eye of the beholder, apparently. Oh. Alright, here we're gonna push the box, which lowers the ledge. Because it tilts. And so we can get up here, which is supposed to be an exit, sort of. That works, not really what I was going for. Now we're going to ultrasonic. And with 5 enemies at once, you're pretty much guaranteed to get at least one gas bubble to refill you. I never seem to get all of these at once. Somehow, there's always one hidden somewhere that crawls onto me. We're already coming up to the end of the mission here, which funnily enough in this level, if you just care about the mission, it's faster to go right back where you came from and exit through the entrance, because we're still closer to the entrance than the exit. Speaking of which, I'm gonna save in case we get another crash. Again, hope not. Didn't need to reload. This is just a bit of a side path. Okay, that was close. We're just here for the orbs, but there's a combat bug vial at the end of this path. Probably where it's here. Again, kind of weird to put stuff that's supposed to be secret alongside stuff that's required for completing the game, but that's Daxter for you. You guys are slightly out of sync. Okay, yeah, there's no chance. Alright, that went pretty smoothly. With that many sharks and cycles to keep up with and keep in sync, tends to go pretty wrong around here. Okay. I'm gonna do this the normal way. So here we've got a little bit of a puzzle in this room with 2 ice blocks. We're supposed to figure out how to get them to grow back to the right size, climb up on top of them, but you can also just do this. And that skips all of it. It's not very hard, but takes a little bit of time waiting for the ice cubes to slide into position. And so far we've seen orange lurker sharks, which notice you if you're in front of them. And here we've got a blue lurker shark, which sees you whenever. It's got like spidey sense or something. Not sure that works. Yeah. For some reason the first fish that you unfreeze doesn't catch his attention, but yeah, that's the strat. Just get him to bait him to go somewhere else and leave you alone. That is the last orb. Last few gems coming up. Trying to run into the spikes and crawl at the same time, which kind of skips the animation for crawling. Honestly, on such a long run, it doesn't really matter. And then we go to our last level, Distillery. The classic combo can still come in handy to clip into this space, which is kind of finicky. I think you're supposed to crawl, but yeah, this time jumping won't do. So Distillery is kind of like Brewery 2, except it's in a different spot. But I mean, levels that have the same name aren't usually done in the same places. Here, it's important we get the gems before we move too close to the ledge here, because there's a checkpoint, and I already mentioned the gem glitch. And here we're gonna have to die. Okay, still have 18 gems. That's good. For those who joined in mid-run, there's a glitch where if you kill an enemy, hit a checkpoint, and then grab the gem, the enemy will not respawn because you already defeated it, but the gem will not be collected because it wasn't collected before you had the checkpoint. And so if you respawn at the checkpoint, you just lose the gem and you have to redo the whole level from the start up to that point. And that tends to be really common in this exact spot because you've got enemies right before a checkpoint, and also you respawn on purpose to save a little bit of time. Gotta watch out for when those bugs are attacking you. Kind of inconsistent. Didn't get it, did I? Might have. Yeah, he did. Platforming section, we can gain a little extra height by jumping off at the right time because the platforms are wobbling once we get on them. And if we jump off while they're wobbling up, we get some upward speed. This guy's too low to hit with fire quickly. But also I kind of have to save my Oh, you actually got me. Who needs crawling on the walls when you can just hover diagonally? This trick just breaks so many puzzles in this game to gain extra distance by hovering diagonally. Right. Coming up to the end of Distillery. Sorry. Beautiful. And the last orb is right here, and we've got 101%. It's not time yet, but it's coming right up. So to normalize the times, we've decided to end time and whenever we get this reward, so it's time now. Yep. And that was Daxter 101%. Not a bad time considering the crash. I think that would have been a record. well, thank you ESA for having me. Thank you to the community. I see Zeetrock, Ziflis, Rubik, Rain. Zeetrock has found so many things. He's dropped single-handedly any percent by 10 minutes just by new discoveries, which for context is around 20 minutes. So saving 10 minutes is a huge deal. So yeah, Rain. We got Headstrong. Alberona, the world record holders for no TMS and all missions, respectively, who also helped push the other categories down a bunch. Got Outrageous Josh, who we had a little back and forth on record for 101%. I don't know if he's watching here. But yeah, thanks to the whole community. If you're interested in joining Daxter, you can join the Jack Discord. That's gonna be linked on speedrun.com. There's also jackspeedruns.com, which is a separate site. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. Again, thank you ESA for having me, and thank you to all those who donated, all those in the chat, and have a great rest of your night.
And thank you very much, Noki, for the run. We will take a short break just now, but then we'll be back with Ratchet Clank going commando just shortly.